Tonight, senior prison officers set to sue government over the appointment of the newest commissioner. We've got more on that off the top. Also, the alleged child abductor returns to court. We've got the latest. And later, a $4 million agreement reached over VSAMs for Grand Lucayan managers. This is Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News brought to you by Flow Evo, powered by BTC. Flow Evo is here.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Candino Knowles. Thanks for joining us. Off the top tonight, 2 senior Bahamas Department of Corrections officers are suing the government, claiming they were overlooked for a promotion they were both qualified for. Earlier this year, Charles Murphy was appointed Commissioner of Corrections, but his position is now being challenged. Francesca Brown has more in tonight's top story.
Don Claire and Bernadette Thompson Murray allege in affidavits filed in the Supreme Court on Friday that National Security Minister Marvin Dames forced them to take vacation leave to facilitate the appointment of Charles Murphy, their junior, as Commissioner of Corrections. They want the Supreme Court to quash his appointment and declare it invalid. Both Claire and Murray claim they were forced to take vacation leave last year, even though Murphy had accumulated more leave than both of them combined. They also allege that upon returning from their leave, they were prevented by the acting permanent secretary from performing their duties. It was also claimed that the move was political, as it is claimed that Murphy openly campaigned for the Free National Movement during the last election. In her affidavit, Murray said she was acting as Commissioner of Corrections after former Commissioner Patrick Wright retired. She said in a meeting with National Security Minister Marvin Dames on August 7th, he made it clear to her that she would never be given the opportunity to become commissioner. Therefore, she did not apply for the position, as she was given the impression that the position was already filled by Murphy, and the process of seeking an applicant was just a formality. Murray, who has worked for the department for more than 30 years, said she believes she is either being forced to retire or transferred. She said Murphy does not meet the requirements as outlined for the advertised position. In his affidavit, Claire also claims that Commissioner Murphy does not meet any of the requirements set out by the Public Service Commission and is not qualified for the job. He claims that after returning from his 23 weeks of forced leave on February 23rd, the locks on his office were changed. Nevertheless, he said he applied for the commissioner position as he worked at the BDOC for more than 25 years and has the experience. However, he said he was denied the position by the panel, which he said no one on it had any experience to judge the appropriateness of the candidates. Claire further claimed that the panel's chairman headed the F&M Kalani constituency office between 2012 and 2017, which is the constituency of Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis. Both are being represented by Monroe and Associates. Francesca Brown, Eyewitness News.
The alleged child abductor responsible for the recent kidnapping of numerous children returned to court today following a psychological evaluation at a local mental health facility. That evaluation expected to help determine her suitability to stand trial. Matthew Moxie has more on today's outcome.
A psychiatric report from the Sandilands Rehabilitation Center presented in the magistrate court today deemed the alleged serial child abductor Deidre Gibson fit to enter a plea to the charges brought against her. The 29-year-old beautician was shielded from media cameras by police as she returned to court for abducting 4 young boys from various locations around New Providence earlier this year. It is alleged that Gibson abducted 3 8-year-olds and 1 3-year-old between February 16th and March 29th. Before the arraignment got underway, the defendant was shakingly tearful, wiping her face with the collar of her jacket. The accused was charged with 4 counts of abduction and pled not guilty to all counts. Gibson elected for her matter to be heard in the Supreme Court. Gibson has been transferred from the local mental facility and remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections until June 24th for the presentation of a voluntary bill of indictment. Before leaving, the defendant lamented, "I hope they happy now." Matthew Moxie, Eyewitness News.
42-year-old Saran McQueen, shown in the multicolored plaid shirt, was also arraigned today for the shooting death of Anton Baron Roberts last week. According to police reports, it was shortly after midnight on May 4th when a group of persons was sitting in front of an abandoned building on Hospital Lane when they were approached by a gunman who opened fire. Roberts was shot and pronounced dead at the scene. Before the arraignment, McQueen threatened to stab bystanders through a window in court, saying, quote, "I wish I could jerk her head off her body." McQueen appeared before Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt and was charged with murder. He was not required to plead and was remanded to the Department of Corrections until June 19th for a voluntary bill of indictment. He was also charged with 1 count of possession of an unlicensed firearm and 1 count of possession of ammunition stemming from a separate incident. He pleaded not guilty to both of those counts and will appear before Magistrate Darren Roll for fixture of trial on May 28th. Before departing, McQueen's attorney, Nathan Smith, expressed to the Chief Magistrate that his client was allegedly beaten while in police custody at the Central Detective Unit and forced to sign documents and make untrue statements. Police say they have arrested a 25-year-old in connection with that double homicide last Thursday at Potters Key Dock following an altercation between 3 men. Police tell us the man was found in North Andros on Saturday and has been flown to the capital for processing. We understand that charges are expected to be brought sometime later this week. Government and the Bahamas Hotel Managers Union finally reaching an agreement over voluntary separation packages for more than 90 managers of the Grand Lucayan Resort. This comes months after legal wrangling, that is, over the amount to be paid out. Tourism Minister Dionisio de Aguilar said despite the delay, officials were able to come to a resolve.
Judges will receive a total of $4.3 million. 3.6 of that, 3.7 of that will come approximately from the government, as it is the shareholder of the property, and the rest will come from monies that were put into an annuity plan by the hotel. So the employee will have the option to keep it in the annuity plan, or if they want to cash it out, they can cash it out. So that will be up to them.
Meanwhile, Trade Union Congress President Obi Ferguson is addressing the issue of court-ordered fees levied against the Bahamas Utilities, Services and Allied Workers Union in the case against water and sewerage. In a ruling on Friday, Justice Keith Thompson discontinued the proceedings in line with a notice of discontinuance filed by Busawu attorneys last Tuesday and awarded Water and Sewerage, the defendant in the case, cost in the amount of $25,000. Ferguson said he believes, or that he plans, to have discussions with both parties to bring resolve without any further litigation.
And get the matter resolved. I understand the legal issue. I think the union withdrew the matter. And consequently, in law, if you start suing someone and you have to withdraw, unless you can come to some arrangement, costs follow the event. So the union withdrew its action, and the consequence of which $25,000 was set for taxation. But my position is that I will try to meet with the minister responsible for labor, the principal of the Water and Sewage Corporation, and try to find a resolution. That, to me, is very, very, very important, because the Bahamian people would be affected seriously.
Minister of Immigration Brent Simonet responding to criticisms from the Inter-American Commission of Human Rights that the Bahamas has not been fairly treating immigrants. According to a local daily, the IACHR's message to the government was that detention was not the answer for those that migrate to this country illegally. Tonight, Simonet says that foreigners have to understand that the Bahamas is overloaded with more immigrants than it can handle.
I have difficulty when any international organization tries to force a sovereign country to do things which are not in the best interests of that country. For instance, a boatload of 100 persons arrive on our shore today. Are we supposed to let them walk around the street until we decide when to repatriate them? These are issues. We have 100,000 square miles of water. Illegal immigration is a large problem. We spend about $1.6 million a year repatriating non-Bahamians.
Attorney General Carl Bethel is accusing the opposition of seeking to derail the amendments to the Immigration Act by engaging in race baiting and using an unnecessary aggressive and regressive stance to changes critically necessary for the country. During his contribution in the Senate today, Bethel said the amendments to the Immigration Act will allow the Bahamas to create a digital economy which will provide jobs. He was responding to Progressive Liberal Party Chairman Senator Fred Mitchell, who said in a statement on Sunday that the bill will loosen controls that protect the integrity of our borders and our workforce.
The opposition have almost consistently adopted an extremely negative approach. The latest series of opposition moves are crudely designed, in my view, to foster racial divisions and to generate fear and mistrust in the minds of the public. In my view, is nothing short of crude race baiting and fear mongering. Yes. And as for the race baiting, let me say this unequivocally. This is not, as it was called in the other place, Brent's bill.
Minister with responsibility for gaming, Dionisio de Aguilar, confirming tonight that 3 out of the 8 licensed web shops are compliant with the new tax regime. This after Finance Minister Peter Turnquest told media last week that only one gaming operator was up to date with its taxes. The Bahamas Gaming Operators Association fired back at that, noting that the Finance Minister was ill-informed. Minister de Aguilar said today that negotiations continue with the gaming industry.
There are 3. Yes, but that represents 70% of the revenue. So, but we're negotiating with the other, the remaining 4. But we certainly, I mean, we can negotiate all we want. At the end of the day, they will have to come compliant with the tax that's due. So we're not in any way going to forgive any of the tax. So. So we'll continue to negotiate.
All right, we are just getting started in Eyewitness News, but when we come back, Island Luck kicks off its 10-year anniversary celebrations. We've got highlights. And later, Eyewitness News turns 1. You've got to look back at some of our biggest moments. More on that coming up. But first, here's a check on tonight's weather forecast.
They say time flies when you're having fun, but can you believe it's been 1 year since Eyewitness News made its debut? We're the new news standard, and to show our appreciation for your support, we're having a week-long celebration. We'll highlight some of the best moments in news since 2018. We take the fun to the streets of the capital on Saturday at 11 a.m. with an exciting float parade. Come out to see the country's top news reporters as we spread the love. And then join us at R.M. Bailey Park, where the float parade will culminate at 2 p.m. There will be 20 exciting pop-up vendors for you to enjoy sweet treats and so much more. And then on Sunday, we invite you to celebrate with us at our anniversary church service to be held at Trinity Assembly City of Praise. It's our 1-year anniversary, and we want you to celebrate with us.
We don't make the cars drive better. We don't make the boats ride better. And we definitely don't make the planes fly better. The one thing we do better at J.S. Johnson is give you peace of mind knowing that your insurance needs are covered. We understand how important your business is to you, whether you're just starting out or a national treasure. Let us take the risk out of your business. J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, giving you peace of mind.
Discover the possibilities.
Discover the possibilities.
Discover the possibilities.
I discovered the possibilities.
I discovered the possibilities.
Hello, I'm Gershon Major, CEO of the Bahamas Gaming Operators Association. Are you or a loved one suffering from a gambling addiction? Do you find yourself more often than not having to choose between your daily expenses and this form of entertainment? If you've answered yes to these questions, we are here to help. At the BGOA, our doors are always open. There are several mechanisms in place to protect you as a player as part of our industry's responsible gaming program. If you find yourself or someone you know slipping through the cracks, please come in and visit us at number 41 Top of the Hill Mackey Street for an assessment, immediate assistance, or professional intervention at no cost to you. Remember, it's only a game, so please do so responsibly. For more information, please contact us at 603-2083. Visit our website at bgoabahamas.com or call our hotline at 808-9509.
This portion of the news is brought to you by J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, giving you peace of mind.
You are looking at live pictures over West Bay Street, where the temperature is sitting at a low of 75. We're expected to get up to about 80 degrees tonight. This is Eyewitness News. Welcome back. The local economy appears to be on the rebound as the country's gross domestic product for 2018 has grown by more than $10 billion. This latest number coming from the National Accounts Report compiled by the Department of Statistics. The $10 billion growth, the report says, represents an increase of 1.6% in comparison to the same period for 2017. The report points out that there are 17 groups that contribute to annual GDP stats, and 9 of them contributed to the overall increase. Of the 9 leading contributors, the report indicates that real estate industry growth increased by $16 million, wholesale and retail trade by $43 million, accommodations and food services industry showed a combined increase of $253 million, while the financial and insurance sectors grew by $42 million. Supervisor of National Accounts, Tiora Newbold, says the positive growth is good news for the local economy.
An increase indicates that the economy is better than it was last year. There's an increase compared to 2017, an increase of 1.6% in real growth.
The 2018 GDP figures in the National Accounts Report will be available on the department's website on or before June 13th. Newbold says the growth is encouraging, especially on the heels of a financial snapshot released by the Ministry of Finance late last month, which indicated that the national deficit has seen a decline, while government projects the national deficit to continue on a steady decline. Newbold says she's cautious, however, with predicting a continued growth in GDP, considering that any number of factors could shift the scale.
Anything can cause the economy to increase or decrease. So the job of the National Accounts Section is to calculate the numbers as they come in. So we can't predict what's going to happen. Depending on what happens, we will calculate the numbers.
10 years ago, on May 4th, 2009 to be exact, Island Luck launched with 4 locations. Fast forward 10 years later, and the gaming operator is one of the largest and currently has 62 locations, nearly 800 employees, and over 40,000 patrons nationwide. Island Luck CEO Sebas Bastian, and speaking on the milestone, says there have been many challenges, but he says the journey has been worth it.
Being a part of lobbying this industry, from what I call from the back trunk to the boardroom, and making it part of the formal economy was probably one of my greatest accomplishments. Being a part of that movement in the 10 years of Island Luck, it's an amazing achievement to be here 10 years later, and being able to use what we've accomplished with Island Luck to create all of the spin-off companies, all of the opportunities that we've been able to provide for our communities via our IL Cares Foundation, our own Bahamas Foundation. It's just a great joy to be a part of this whole journey.
Now, according to Bastian, the company has differentiated itself from other operators in the market by using new technology for a competitive edge. He says with 10 years under its belt, the experience at Island Luck is incomparable, and patrons who have been gaming with the company since 2009 agreed.
I just love to come because I win. Winners live here. So that's why I always come in, because I win. I'm a winner.
So you're taking home some money over the past 10 years?
Yeah, man, most definitely, man. I do a lot of great things, catching numbers, not spinning, but just catching numbers.
So you've been gaming with Island Luck for 10 years. What keeps you coming back?
No, I win my little couple dollars, I sit down, I relax, I respect all the staff in here, and I'm comfortable.
What do you think about the atmosphere?
The atmosphere is very good, very good. He take care of the people in this area, all the area. I watch TV, I watch many times and see him. I know him. From the time I retire, I always still come in here. I hear regular now every day. I'm comfortable.
All right, meantime, Eyewitness News continues to celebrate its 1-year anniversary this week. Our news product launched on May 14th in 2018, and with that launch came the introduction of enhanced technology, which helped to set our news product apart from others in the market. The introduction of live view, on-location reports, and live in studio in our nightly news also helped to up the game in the media industry. Tonight, our Theo Seeley takes a look at our live view and in-studio report in tonight's anniversary feature.
On May 14th, 2018, Eyewitness News hit the airwaves with an award-winning newscast. Strong content, clean videography, and 2 live drops in our debut production, which sent a clear message that a new news standard had arrived. When the studio lights came up and the cameras started rolling, our Janaea Ferguson was first out the gate with the O-Band saga live in studio.
Good evening, Kendino. Well, as you know, for months now, there has been much debate on the O-Band deal, and we've not heard much about the impact assessment.
Following Janaea, our first live-on-location report that night was broadcast from downtown Nassau, telling the story of a brazen daylight jewelry heist.
Authorities confirmed that they have no suspects in custody in connection with this crime, so they seek the public's help. If you can assist police with their investigations, you're asked to call them at 911.
Introducing live on location and live in studio, split screen was a new addition to the news landscape here at home, an advantage which gave Eyewitness News the capability to bring breaking news in real time. One of many memorable breaking news newscasts was the Labor Day tragedy, June 1st, 2018. Our Francesca Brown was the first on the ground that day. She led team coverage later that night.
We begin our coverage with Francesca Brown, who is on the scene from where this incident happened this morning. Let's go to Francesca Brown.
Yes, Kendino, I'm on the scene, but when Eyewitness News initially came on the scene around 10 a.m. this morning, we met dozens of nurses from the Bahamas Nurses Union.
But on a lighter note, our ability to report in real time using live-on-location reports also allowed us to tell many stories which are often overlooked, like this feature done by our April Sands live on location for autism awareness.
Today is formally known as Light It Up Blue Day. And what that means, of course, is globally around the world, special buildings get to be lit with the color blue, and we're going to be no different here at home.
While expanding our reach through live on location and in-studio reports, we provided our newest additions to the team, Janelle Longley and Matthew Moxie, with a platform to shine, covering 2 impressive stories, the case of a missing man and the alleged rape of a minor by a police officer.
Janelle, you were at the court proceedings today. Tell us, what exactly happened?
Well, Janaea, this is a story Eyewitness News has been following from the very beginning. Nearly 3 months in and still no answers for the family of missing man Marvin Pratt.
Our Matthew Moxie is on the story tonight. He joins me live in studio. Good evening, Matthew. What do we know?
Well, Condino, this 14-year-old is still reeling from what she claims occurred almost 2 weeks ago after she was offered a ride by a uniformed police officer.
A team of 8 reporters supported by a production staff of 8, the new news standard celebrates 1 year tomorrow, and we're just getting started. Theo Seeley, Eyewitness News.
All right, that does it for us in this segment. But coming up in sports, Randy Smith is off the top with all the latest action. Randy?
Canino, we have a review on Team Bahamas' time at the IAAF World Championships and also results from the High School Soccer Nationals coming up in Eyewitness Sports.
Get some grits, yellow grits. Can't forget my rice. I need that rice. Get 1 can of cream for my macaroni. This too. Ice cream cone for $2, cup for $2.50. All these candies. Let's say I could get a cone, please, for the pecan and a hot dog. My mommy can pay for these, okay? I think that's it.
Your daughter leave these here for you to pay for.
Pay for what? Lenny!
She gone to the guy.
Put them there, let me pay for them. I can deal with her later. They got slippers and shirt inside here. Bra, undershirt. Stop being in Walmart. They got pots in here too. I gotta come back later for some pots, man. Shop Wally's Convenience Store open Monday through Sunday from 7:30 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Ready for some fun in the sun? At Blue Lagoon Island, you can interact with friendly dolphins, playful sea lions and gentle stingrays, and frolic in the warm Bahamian sun. From now until April 15th, enjoy Blue Lagoon Island's beach day for as low as $39.99 for residents only. Blue Lagoon Island, authentically Bahamian, sustainable at heart.
Our annual Mother's Day sale is here at Connaught Bahamas, starting on April 15th through May 19th. Enjoy 30% off our Swiss chocolate cabinet lamp. Save 20% off our white and quartz countertop and up to 25% off our granite selection. Visit us in Freeport, Marsh Harbor, and Nassau. Connaught Bahamas. Dream, design, deliver.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Randy Smith, and welcome to Eyewitness Sports. We begin tonight with Team Bahamas' time at the IAAF World Relays this past weekend. Now, the team had a disappointing showing. The men's 4x4 team never got the chance to step on the track. According to reports, national record holder Stephen Gardner suffered a strained Achilles and therefore wasn't able to compete. And there wasn't enough time to bring in a replacement. As a result, the team was eliminated. As for the men's 4x2 team, they dropped the baton in the final and was later disqualified for a lane infraction. Also in track and field news, 2 Bahamian collegiate athletes medaled in individual events at their respective conference championships. Shaquem Smith, representing UTEP, won the men's 400-meter hurdles at the Conference USA meet in a personal best of 50.86 seconds. The junior also finished 6th in the men's 110-meter hurdles later on in the day. And on the field, Giles Etienne from Indiana, he captured a bronze medal in the men's high jump with a leap of 7 feet and 2 inches. On the soccer front, the Laifiki Dragons girls and boys teams emerged as champions of the 2019 High School Soccer National Championships over the weekend. In the girls' game, the Dragons topped Tabernacle Baptist 3-0, while the boys fought hard to knock off C.R. Walker 5-4.
The Ministry of Education, of course, is very proud of our young people, in particular this extracurricular activity, soccer. We're also very grateful to sponsors like J.S. Johnson for collaborating with us and ensuring that we advance the whole development of the child. It's not only academics or vocational technical skills, but also sporting activities, which is very important for their minds and their bodies. We are also very proud that so many of our young people are talented and are able to use this means by which they can gain possible scholarships to advance their education. We are also grateful to our coaches who go beyond the call of duty to extend their expertise and their time and resources to assisting our young people in making the best of their lives at this time. And also the competition is extremely high. Grateful to the Bahamas Football Association for sponsoring an event of this nature. So we're grateful and we're thankful that so many people are coming here to support an event of this nature.
Also today, the Bahamas defeated Antigua and Barbuda 7-4 in the opening match of the CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championships. Both Jane Francis and Kyle Williams scored 2 points each in the win. They'll be back in action again tomorrow. Well, that does it for us in sports, but stay tuned. Eyewitness News continues in a moment. I'm Randy Smith. Have a great evening.
Internet is good, but why have one good thing when you can have everything? Get 66% faster internet speed with Trio. Get everything. Only $99 a month gets you phone, internet, and cable. That's everything you need for $99 a month. Ask for Trio. Call 601-2200 or email residentialsales@cablebahamas.com. Rev, you and us together.
The woman didn't win $10,000 or $50,000. Jesus Christ!
It all comes down to this. Sebastian, CEO of Island Luck, is presently in the air.
And we got ourselves a winner right here. Let me bring out the leader of the woman there. $20,000. Well, my God.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
All right, coming up and beyond the headlines with Clint Watson, his contributors take on the hot topics making headlines. You don't want to miss it. It's coming up and beyond the headlines. It starts right after this. That does it for us in Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Candino Knowles saying good night.